Hi, I'm Manny, and let me tell you something real quick. Well, not real quick because these videos are usually over 8 minutes, but let me tell you something. Your art has value. Your own unique style, your own unique voice, everything that makes your art, a sort of unification of everything that you are, that has value. And why am I saying all these like preachy, cheesy things? Because I'd like to think that somewhere out there in the world, somebody is fighting the same battle I'm fighting, where I feel like my artistic vision, the things that make my art mine don't have as much value as the things that make other artists famous on social media. And that shit is just poison. So I just want to put that out as a blanket statement. Your art has value, your voice has value. Lean into the things that make it your own. Putting that aside, I today was the release of the new Warframe update called the Shadowgrapher, and the Warframe I've been super looking forward to, which is like the inky artist, you know, artist Warframe. And I feel kind of bad because I've been enjoying the hell out of all the content, all of the like quality of life stuff. I've even enjoyed the new game mode. But if I go even 10 inches within anything Warframe related on the internet right now, it is just people complaining and going on and on about, oh, this is the worst game mode ever. This sucks. This is terrible. I hate this. And the thing is, by all means, express your discontent, but do you have to be such assholes about it? Like, can't you just say, okay, I don't like this, I don't like the mode because of this, and I think this would make it better? But it's just pure unconstructive hate, and it really gets in the way of people who just want to enjoy the update. Now, granted, it is pretty like entitled to be like, don't express your opinion because it makes me uncomfortable. Like, I do think there is space to have a conversation that maybe, the items at the vendor are priced way too ridiculously. The mode knockdowns are far too common, and it can feel tedious and horrible to get knocked down and then die because there's nothing you can do. Absolutely. But it's just the fact that you are choosing to say it in the most horrible, toxic, unconstructive way that really pisses in my mailbox. But putting that aside and getting back to the update, I am absolutely loving this game mode. I know this is gonna sound like crazy talk to most people, and that's fine. But it kind of has like a very childish sort of hide and seek kind of tag feel to it, where it's like, oh no, is he gonna get me? And I think a lot of people haven't necessarily cottoned on to the idea that you need to be constantly switching between your warframe and your operator. Like, your warframe is for dispatching all of the enemies and all of the fully like copies and ink like aura emanators. You just kill those with your warframe. But as far as getting through Folly's damage aura, I can just go into operator mode, and it's almost become like a FromSoft like rolling instinct, right? Like, you just do it instinctively, where I just immediately switch to operator mode in a second and then go into crouch, which makes you invincible, and I can just walk right through the aura. Now, one thing I do understand is that most people haven't done the thing that I've done, which is I have unlocked a lot of my focus school upgrades, like the Waybound passives, that make your operator handle and feel a bit better. So I do have a little bit of an advantage when it comes to that. But still, I do think that it is quite intuitive when it comes to learning that muscle memory of, okay, time to use the operator for invincibility. Okay, time to switch back to my warframe, clear the area. Okay, back to the operator for invisibility. Now, I understand how people might find that tedious, but for me, it's just a lot of fun playing hide and seek with Folly. Anyway, moving on from that, I've also been reading a bit more because I got myself an Amazon Kindle a while ago, and I've been collecting, not collecting, but like getting all the books that from the series I like. For example, I have a Sunstone, the first few volumes of Sunstone, which is a graphic novel series about two BDSM nerds who fall in love, which I know. It's a little, like finger wag, raise eyebrow, questionable. But no, it's actually a really, really sweet, well told story that just happens to involve BDSM. And I don't actually read a lot of like wordy books, like books that are just simply words instead of graphic novels, because I have aphantasia. Whenever like my mind's eye is blind, so it's not really stimulating for a book to tell me like picture this because I can't picture it, right? I do love to read instructional books, like books that are about like teaching you information and stuff, because at least with those, you kind of feel enriched in learning all these things because you don't necessarily have to like picture in your mind what's going on. But other than that, I don't really read like wordy narrative books. Graphic novels are ideal for me because the picture, what you're meant to be looking at, is right there. Although I do have trouble like reading, sight reading it, like moving from panel to panel. Like I usually have to hyper focus on one point and then try to retain the information of that image as I move into the next word or the next picture. But yeah, I have a graphic novel. Oh, right, Mouse Guard. I bought a couple of the Mouse Guard books because I love the Mouse Guard series, which I know that it's kind of made basically for children, but I still think it's a wonderful series with some great stories, and of course the art is incredible. I suggest you look up Mouse Guard, like what that looks like, and show them some support if you like what you see, because it's kind of like a medieval fairy tale kind of like vibe to it, but it's about like mice in a world of like sentient animals and how the mice build civilizations, and they have all these like tales and like fantastic, adventures and stuff. Like it's really really cool, and it's illustrated in a way that makes it look like one of those wood engravings where you like carve a shape into a wood and then ink over the stuff that you didn't carve and then print it into a paper. It's kind of like that, but with some pointillism and some desaturated colors. Like it looks really really cool. And speaking of Kindle books, I actually went onto the Amazon Kindle storefront to see if they actually had any like illustrated smut, because I do love to read like doujinshis and all that stuff. And they do, but the problem is that it's usually you have to buy and order a physical version. They don't have it on digital. And I'm really, really struggling to find storefronts, respectable, like trusted storefronts that sell digital, like ebook doujinshis, which makes me sad. But anyway, that's all the yapping I've got for today. Thanks for listening. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.